Hello LEGO fans, Bricks Unbound here with another Building Hogwarts update. And as mentioned in the last update, it's time to do some rock work, as well as some other just general, more natural landscaping around the castle instead of focusing on the buildings of the castle itself. So we'll just zoom out a little bit here and take a look down from this level. So right now we are beneath the Great Hall. So there's the kitchen there. The rest of the Great Hall still isn't sitting on top because I want to be able to move things around easier. But I've done quite a bit here with the water. Obviously there's still a large section there, and then as well as on the other side of the Great Hall that's going to be part of the lake as well. But I think this is actually turning out very nicely. So again, it's a layer of trans light blue tiles on top of dark blue for the darkest section here, then regular blue, then dark as then medium as as you get close to the shore, the colors get brighter, and I think it really does give it a nice look here to look a little bit more realistic. I've put a little rock formation in here just to make it slightly more interesting than it just being a blank slate of water. I haven't done any building over on this side. I want to determine exactly what I want to do here before I cover up everything, because I wouldn't mind having something in this corner here instead of it just being open. If there was a Durmstrang ship coming out, that'd be a great spot to set that down, but alas, there is not yet. So who knows, maybe someday I'll build one or try to build one myself, but this might stay open for a little bit. I do plan on continuing along the shoreline here though. So you can see my process for building here. So there's basically Mills plate system underneath all the rockwork, and then the most elevated section of the beach, and then underneath that I just have the base plate, which is directly what I'm putting the blue pieces onto, so that way I get a little bit of a height change as well as you approach the shore and approach the rockwork and then the castle up above. And I think that is coming along pretty nicely. For the rockwork, I haven't really done much. I've started putting slopes over some sections here, some green stuff that isn't permanent by any means, but I wanted to have a little bit more color there and kind of try and figure out what it is I want to be doing here. Honestly, the big ugly rock pieces don't look terrible, but I do want to make them blend a little bit better, not as obviously that it's just big giant pieces. So I did start, as I mentioned, down here, make it a little bit more interesting. And this whole thing does separate, so I'm building it so that the 48 by 48 plates that it's sitting on, I can pull them apart. They do have Technic pins, as you can see over here, attaching them. Some of them I'll probably have to pull a lot of the pins themselves out at the moment while I'm working on building, because it's really easy to accidentally put a brick or a plate or something across the gap there, and then unfortunately, or not ideally, connect the 48 by 48 plates, because I do want to be able to move things around a little bit better to get it underneath and things like that. So speaking of underneath, we can see a few of my support columns here. So the idea is that that's actually what's going to be holding up most of the weight, are going to be these. You can see I use those. I think they're 2 by 10 bricks high, I believe. Those things that look kind of like iron support pieces, and then just some bricks on the bottom and the top to get it up to the 15 bricks high that are 3 big ugly rock pieces. But that's what is running underneath the castle. I have 2 by 16 plates going between the supports just to keep them from moving side to side, but the weight is going to be pushing down directly above the supports. This one is exposed at the moment, but that's how it's looking underneath it, for at least for the sections where I'm not planning on having any kind of scenes or looks at the interior of the castle. So everything under the Great Hall is not going to have anything there, so it's fine to just have wonky colors and just see the support columns. As we move down, this isn't secured or necessarily exactly where this rockwork is going to go, but I wanted to start getting an idea about the shaping here. Right now, this is full of brick separators, But this is going to be the Hufflepuff common room, and then Filch's office will be on top of it in line with this doorway. The common room itself might get lowered by a few studs. Or a few bricks. I just wanted to set it in place at the moment because there's a little tower that goes there, so I'm going to have to find somewhere else to store my brick separators. It's been a convenient spot to dump them. But anyway, so I did elevate the entrance courtyard as well. And then right now we still have the Great Hall and everything sitting in the way. Quite the mess here. But the viaduct bridge, which is sitting off to the side somewhere because it's a lot easier to move than these bigger sections of building, is going to sit and run pretty much from this corner over to the viaduct entrance hall. So I'm going to just continue working my way around here as I go with the rockwork and with just elevating things. I am going to, and I wish I would have done this with the Great Hall, start out with these supports just in a very grid-like structure underneath. And then, because then I can have the stuff setting on top the whole time and see how the rockwork blending into it looks. Whereas over here, I basically put the rocks around it, gingerly set it down. It's like, oh no, I need to move this out a few studs. Had to lift it up, move it away. But if I have it just already on the supports, like I have on the entrance hall here, it'll be a lot easier to shape the rocks up to meet it instead. So that wall will continue around here. And then it's hard to see everything. The roof is not currently on the quad, the front side of the quad there. But I'll also get that elevated up so then I can start making a little bit of cutaway and rockwork here. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to put the Slytherin common room underneath. Maybe not that section, maybe under the grand staircase tower, so that way it can look out at the lake. Is kind of the idea. It's technically under the lake in the books, but that would go under my tables, which doesn't really work. So that'll be what's happening over there. I'm planning on getting as much of this section of the castle done as possible as far as elevated and everything before I even start working anything over here, because this is going to have a lot of weight on it, even more so than this section, so I might need a little bit stronger supports. I'm not sure. We'll get to that when we come to it, but I'm happy with how this is coming along. I will say this took way longer than ideal, just the amount of small pieces, and then if I change my mind, because at first I didn't have this rock thing in here, it would just open. It's like, oh dang it, so I had to pull up all the tiles, put the stuff in there, put the tiles back down. So it is a lot of put stuff together, take it apart, put it together again, tweak it slightly, decide, no, I need to move it a little bit. So it's taking a lot of time and certainly parts. I did not use all of the blue parts I have. I probably have enough, maybe enough to complete this section here, but then it's definitely going to be a bunch more bricklink orders. But I'm happy with the progress so far and how this project is starting to gain a little bit of momentum again. It's nice to see progress like this, which is the advantage of using the big ugly rock pieces and even to some extent these larger support pieces, because I can really get a lot of, at least what I feel like is a lot of progress as far as elevating things goes very quickly, which helps me very quickly rearrange things if I need to. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this video, and please keep coming back for more.